And welcome, beloved mighty companions.
Namaste y bienvenidos, amados poderosos compañeros.
Thank you for joining us for a Go to God session.
Gracias por unirse a la sesión Vamos por Dios.
Honesty of God. Oh, how precious this term is.
Honestidad de Dios. Qué precioso es este término.
Because the ego is complete self-delusion.
Porque el ego es completo engaño.
It is the desire for dreaming of untruth and believing that that's the truth.
Porque es el deseo de soñar en lo que no es verdad.
So we have to learn to be honest again.
Así que tenemos que aprender a ser nuevamente honestos.
Like there's an idea that the world, I go to court, do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, and that's honesty?
Y creemos que esto es ir como la corte y decir que voy a decir la verdad y solo la verdad, pero eso no es honestidad.
We have to really learn that what real honesty is. Go down the hall to God's higher court.
Y tenemos que aprender el concepto de honestidad and go to where? Sorry.
God's higher court, down the hall from the regular courtroom.
Y tenemos que ir a la Corte Suprema de Dios.
And see that we're in the court of hell. We've been in the court of hell.
Y para que nos demos cuenta que hemos estado en la corte del infierno.
We think, okay, in the play of consciousness, if somebody asks me, did you go to the store at 2 p.m.? And we say, yes, I go to the store at 2 p.m., that's honesty.
Y en el mundo creemos que si decimos que voy a las 2 a las 2 de la tarde a la tienda y voy a las 2 de la tarde, quiere decir que soy honesto.
We have to admit that anything other than happiness is dishonesty.
Y tenemos que ver que cualquier cosa que no sea la felicidad es deshonestidad.
Anything other than supreme happiness is self-dishonesty. How about that?
Y que cualquier cosa que no sea suprema felicidad es deshonestidad.
It's the signal that we're in the delusion.
Es la señal de que estamos en la ilusión.
It's the signal that a dishonest decision has been made.
Nos muestra que hemos tomado una decisión deshonesta.
That there's a decision being made in mind to have an experience that is not of God.
Es una decisión en la mente de que no exista Dios.
So we have to relearn how to be honest again. We've forgotten even how to be honest.
Y entonces tenemos que volver a aprender qué es honestidad porque no sabemos qué es honestidad.
So true honesty is happiness. That's it.
La verdadera honestidad es felicidad. Eso es
So
todo.
he's given this term honesty of God for us to learn to go to God to ask us what the truth is. What is honesty?
Entonces nos está dando este símbolo de la honestidad para que vayamos a la verdad y nos diga la verdad, qué es la deshonestidad.
And admitting where we're being dishonest with ourselves about who we are.
Y admitir dónde hemos sido deshonestos con nosotros mismos.
That there's anything other than supreme happiness. That is what dishonesty is.
Que no hay más que suprema felicidad. Y ahí es donde está la deshonestidad.
So at the deepest level is getting to the point and working with Jesus until you can see the true honesty that every experience is chosen. Experience.
Y ver con Jesús que en la honestidad, como todas las experiencias que tenemos son experiencias deseadas. Eso es honestidad.
Dishonesty is refusing to accept divine power, all the love given by the Father.
Deshonestidad es no querer aceptar todo el poder y el amor del Padre.
And honesty is following. The only honesty is
La-
following the voice. That's the only honesty.
esa es la única honestidad, seguir la voz. Esa es la única honestidad.
Anything else is dishonest because we're choosing to deny ourselves the kingdom, and that's dishonest.
Y cualquier otra cosa es deshonestidad, porque estamos escogiendo negar nuestro reino y eso es deshonestidad.
Twitches are dishonesty.
Las molestias, los
These are real.
twitches son deshonestidad.
Right, Jesus? Watch this.
Sí, ¿cierto, Jesús?
I think it's going to be a funny session tonight.
Creo que va a ser una sesión muy divertida esta noche.
Because we can all ask. This is essential for the atonement. Self-honesty is essential for the atonement.
Porque la honestidad es esencial para la expiación.
Jesus is 100% following you the only honesty, yes or no?
Seguirte, Jesús, el 100% es honestidad.
So this voice of wholeness.
Esta es la voz de la plenitud.
So this voice of wholeness is referring to it is the only way we can find out whether we're being honest with ourselves or not.
Y con esta voz, vamos a mirar dónde estamos siendo honestos y dónde estamos siendo deshonestos con nosotros mismos.
So the light circles are coming together to practice honesty of God, seeing where we're denying the truth of who we are.
Entonces los círculos de luz son donde en la honestidad de Dios venimos a mirar dónde estamos negando negando nuestra divinidad, lo que somos.
Honesty of God is a direct experience of willingness to see the truth.
La honestidad es la muestra de la voluntad de willingness to what? Sorry, say again.
Of willingness to see the truth of identity.
La voluntad de ver la verdad, nuestra verdadera identidad.
Honesty of God is seeing that the miracle is instantaneous and it's now.
Y la honestidad de Dios es ver que el milagro está aquí y ahora.
Honesty of God is I have the power to change my mind about this right now.
La honestidad de Dios es el poder de cambiar nuestra mente ahora mismo.
Honesty of God, I can hear the voice anytime I choose to hear it because it's mine.
Y honestidad de Dios es escuchar la voz cuando queremos escucharla porque es nuestra voz.
So honesty of God is always pointing to what we are and ceasing to deny it.
La honestidad de Dios está apuntando a lo que somos y a dejar de negar esa realidad.
Honesty of God is going to Jesus for the interpretation of wholeness.
Y honestidad de Dios es ir a donde Jesús para que nos interprete la plenitud.
So he's talking about how we say things in the world are just facts. They're fact. Here's a fact.
Y él me muestra cómo hay cosas que decimos en el mundo que son hechos. Mira, aquí hay un hecho.
He's talking about the distance of the earth to the sun as being like a fact in the world.
En el mundo, la distancia entre el sol y la tierra es un hecho.
Oh gosh, Jesus is saying that's not fact. That's
Y
part
Jesús
of the illusion.
y Jesús dice, no, eso no es un hecho, eso es parte de la ilusión.
He's saying that's a pretend fact.
Es una pretensión, es un hecho de pretender.
Now, he's practical. He's not.
Él es muy práctico.
But, I mean, we're talking about divinity now,
Y ahora estamos hablando de divinidad.
Jesus is trying to say, look, let me give you the facts.
Y Jesús está diciendo, déjame, yo te doy los hechos, sí, los hechos.
Here's the fact.
Mira aquí los hechos. Este es el hecho.
You are a divine being, and there's nothing you can do to change it.
Tú
That's
eres
the
un ser divino y no hay nada que puedas hacer para cambiarlo. Eso es un hecho.
okay. It's divine law, which is even
Es amor divino.
so. Despite your best efforts, you cannot change that you are infinite, unchanging, and complete.
Y puedes hacer tu mejor esfuerzo, pero esto no va a cambiar que eres pleno, completo, inmutable.
I'm asking Jesus, you're going to be giving me a list of facts, aren't you?
Como no, le voy a decir a Jesús, bueno, dame una lista de hechos.
He's talking, I'm going to be giving you some God facts.
Y
Here are the
entonces,
God facts.
y entonces te voy a dar un hecho, el hecho de Dios.
See, unless we know what the facts are and we can have something relative, because consciousness loves relative, okay?
Porque la conciencia le encanta la relatividad.
Okay. God will never change his mind about what you are. That's a
Que
fact.
Dios nunca va a cambiar su mentalidad de quién eres tú.
Okay. God only makes happiness. That is it. The only creation is happiness.
Y la
Period.
única creación de Dios es felicidad. Punto.
This is good because he can, so we can be clear when we cross over to fiction. Oh, he doesn't go across.
Y esto es muy bueno porque nos muestra cuando estamos pasando a la ficción.
We have to be clear on the Jesus facts.
Tenemos que ser muy claros en los hechos de Jesús.
Okay, all fiction is dishonesty.
Toda la ficción es deshonestidad.
Okay, so we already know from A Course in Miracles that we're running around trying to convince God that He's got His.
Sabemos por el curso de milagros que hemos tratado de correr para mostrarle a Dios.
Trying to convince God that He's got His facts wrong.
Tratando de convencer a Dios que sus hechos son errados.
See, that's why it's happy laughter, because you see, you cannot change the facts of God.
Por eso es la risa feliz, porque no podemos cambiar los hechos de Dios.
That is all Jesus is trying to whisper in our ear. You cannot.
Eso es todo lo que Jesús nos está tratando de susurrar en el oído.
You know, meanwhile, we're trying to tell Jesus, you know, look, you don't have my best interests at heart.
Mira tú no tienes tus mejores deseos para mí.
Like we're going to convince him, you know what I mean?
Vamos a tratar de convencerlo.
We really have to start listening to some of the things that come out of our mouth more carefully. Jesus is going, yes.
Ahora tenemos que ser más cuidadosos de lo que las cosas que salen de nuestra boca, porque ahí está Jesús para decir sí.
That's why joining in the light circles is so helpful, because you're learning to practice to hear what's coming out of your mouth that isn't dishonest.
Y por eso son tan prácticos los círculos de luz, porque ahí nos muestra cuando algo sale de nuestra boca que es deshonesto.
See, the reason he tells us, I'm going to tell you what to say so that there's no spaciousness for the forked tongue to speak.
Entonces, ahí no hay espacio para la lengua de la serpiente, algo así, en estos círculos, porque él nos está diciendo qué debemos decir.
So by pausing and going inside and referring back to totality, to honesty, self-honesty.
Porque vamos a nuestro interior y miramos qué es la honestidad con nosotros mismos.
See, you're speaking as yourself, not truth doesn't dribble out in words. You speak as truth.
Tú hablas desde la verdad, como la verdad.
You know, God make it is truth and love and joy and light are all the same in Spanish mismo.
Todo es lo mismo. Dios es amor, Dios es luz, Dios es gozo, todo lo mismo.
Okay, he's given me more God facts. We know this. But
Me está dando más hechos de Dios.
it's like, Jesus, I must need to hear this.
Creo que necesitamos, Jesús, creo que necesitamos escuchar esto.
Love has no opposite. Fact.
Dios no tiene opuestos, eso es un hecho.
We want to grok this on the inside.
Tenemos tenemos este conocimiento en nosotros.
Okay. I'm asking Jesus if what's I'm checking in on my God facts with him.
Estoy chequeando los hechos de Dios con Jesús.
He's saying, I've asked him this before. He's bringing it up. You're bringing that up. He's bringing up that every single play of the ego is given in A Course in Miracles. Every play.
Me está diciendo que todos los juegos del ego están mostrados en el curso.
But the thing about it is, he's trying to say, look, don't talk about the Course. Talk to me about the Course and learn to hear my voice so I can show you where you're in self-delusion.
Y entonces él me dice, háblame a mí para que yo te muestre todo en el curso y te muestre dónde te estás engañando.
The Course is a direct experience of going in to learn to hear and speak your voice. That is the only honesty.
La honestidad es ir a él y escuchar su voz.
And then join with your brother to look together, to call upon his power so that you can find where you're making yourself powerless.
Y unirte a un hermano para ver dónde te estás haciendo no poderoso y mirar dónde estás jugando a eso, a la impotencia.
So we have to learn honesty. Honesty, number one, miracles are fast.
La honestidad como punto número uno hace que los milagros sean más rápidos.
So we need the best representation that we have of honesty, which is Jesus, to tell us where are we choosing an experience that is dishonest in our subconscious mind.
Y necesitamos a uno que sabe de la honestidad, que nos muestre dónde estamos siendo, dónde estamos siendo deshonestos debajo de nuestro nivel de conciencia.
I just asked him, so honesty of God is letting you do your job.
Honestidad de Dios es dejarte a ti que hagas tu trabajo.
You can check, everybody can check with what I'm saying. You check in with Jesus.
Ustedes pueden chequear con Jesús lo que yo estoy diciendo.
But he's saying we have to it's important that we know what his job is and what our job is in the atonement.
Tenemos que ver que él tiene un papel en la expiación y que nosotros tenemos un papel en la expiación.
His function, I will reveal to you in your willingness.
La función de Jesús es yo te revelo en tu voluntad, si hay voluntad, perdón.
Okay. The underlying conditions that are leading to the experiences you're having.
Las condiciones subconscientes para que estés viviendo estas experiencias.
Okay? He is not the gatekeeper of the miracles.
Él no es que esté manteniendo los milagros.
He can only show you where you're denying yourself miracles.
Él te está mostrando dónde te estás negando a ti mismo los milagros.
Where you are limiting yourself from acceptance of changing your mind about perception.
Dónde te estás limitando a ti mismo para no cambiar tu mentalidad de la percepción.
Okay, so part of this, I will reveal to you in your willingness
Entonces, parte de él es, yo te revelo a ti en tu voluntad,
a symbol of that being joining the one of the most important ways he's giving
eh, como un símbolo de las uniones que yo te he dado
to experience the truth
para experimentar la verdad
and discover where, let him reveal where there's dishonesty.
y dejarlo que nos revele dónde estamos siendo deshonestos.
But the other way he reveals it is through giving assignments to show you the areas in your mind where you're keeping delusion.
Y otra forma que él usa para esto es las asignaciones, las funciones, para que nos muestre dónde nos estamos engañando o dónde están las ilusiones.
So every time there's a no to guidance, you just shut off him showing you where you're deluding yourself.
Entonces, can you say it again, Kay? Sorry.
Every time you don't follow guidance, you're refusing to let him show you where you're in delusion.
Cada vez que nos rehusamos a la guía, nos estamos rehusando a que él nos muestre dónde nos estamos engañando.
I'm talking to him about, you know, how we had that session where he was revealing like 14 ways that the ego, 14 ways that the ego does tricks, you know, the ego tricks of not following.
¿Recuerdan en la sesión que hablamos de los 14 formas como el ego no quiere seguir?
I'm asking,
Como trucos que usa el ego para no seguir la guía.
he's got some more for us.
Así que parece que él tiene algunos otros para nosotros.
I'm asking him if I talk about the one that came up today, and I'm hearing yes. It's always for me.
Y estoy preguntándole si podemos compartir uno que me surgió hoy y porque todo esto es para mí.
Okay, so the ego likes when, as soon as something, Jesus is saying something or someone informed says something that's in guidance.
Cuando alguien dice, no, mira, esto es en guía.
See, one of the plays in consciousness is to go, oh, Jesus wouldn't do that. I'm being pushed. It feels like I'm being pushed.
Entonces, parece como si fuera que fue empujado hacia eso.
And what Jesus is saying right now about it is that that is suppression of the miracle.
Y lo que dice ahora es que esto es una supresión del milagro.
It's trying to control and block the miracle.
Es tratar de controlar el milagro.
And so the ego goes, it's up here going to push, meanwhile saying, no, I want to hold on to guilt and fear down here.
Y es como aquí me está empujando, me está presionando y yo me voy a recoger y no voy a liberar.
So, so ask him, Jesus, does the ego just love that? Love that play in consciousness?
Jesús, ¿al ego le encanta este juego en la conciencia?
Because its favorite mantra, the favorite mantra of the ego is, Jesus is going to make me do something I do not want to do.
Porque el mantra del ego es, Jesús me va a hacer algo que yo no quiero hacer.
And that's one of the other tricks that we already heard from him on. But let's hear it again.
Y ya hemos escuchado mucho de esto, pero escuchémoslo nuevamente.
Jesus doesn't make us do anything. He can only reveal in our willingness.
Entonces Jesús no nos puede hacer algo, simplemente nos revela en nuestra voluntad.
So he has a function and we have a function. Willingness to cease to deny.
Entonces, él tiene su función y nosotros tenemos nuestra función. Nuestra función es la voluntad de dejar de negar.
And willingness to cease to deny is full following, 100%.
Y la voluntad de seguir de negar es seguirlo 100%.
So everybody, you guys can all hear him. So ask him, Jesus. So not following guidance is dishonesty.
Entonces, preguntémosle, Jesús, ¿no seguir la guía es deshonestidad?
I see Patty. You see that? We're going for it. Are we going for God or what?
Y nosotros vamos por Dios.
Look, we are going for God. That's it.
Nosotros vamos por
Okay.
Dios. Eso es.
Yes.
And that's honesty. See, we want to learn the bobblehead. Yeah, look at Lena. So
Y nosotros vamos a aprender el movimiento de la cabeza.
this bubble, do not underestimate how deep this delusion is and the desire for delusion.
No podemos subestimar todo el engaño y el deseo del engaño.
You ask him, Jesus, am I undervaluing how important it is that I follow you in everything?
Jesús, estoy sobreestimando la importancia que tiene seguirte a ti.
Am I undervaluing guidance?
Y que estamos subestimando el valor de la guía.
See, when you undervalue guidance, you're valuing weakness.
Cuando subestimas la guía, te vuelves débil. Okay, go ahead.
Remember, the ego's all in the beginning, particularly, it's going to have so many doubt thoughts that you're going to hell if you follow Jesus.
Porque el ego va a mostrar que si seguimos a Jesús es el infierno.
But the dishonesty is failure to be determined to get clear, be determined to see the truth. It's dishonest not to. Ask him.
Es deshonestidad no estar decididos a ver la verdad. Eso es deshonestidad.
He's talking about it's dishonest not to go for the miracle all the way with him and let him coach you the desire all the way down till it's no longer in consciousness.
Es deshonesto no ir todo el camino con Jesús hasta lograr el milagro. Ir en la mente subconsciente.
See, the deepest healing, the healing is going to be extremely superficial. Yes, it's a start.
La sanación va a ser muy superficial.
You know, but the real healing can only get to the deepest corners of the mind through that last unanswered question.
Y porque hay que ir profundo en la mente hasta la última esquina para contestar la última pregunta no contestada.
You can ask him, is the only honesty full acceptance of the last unanswered question? I'm going to tell you what it is.
Es honestidad contestar la última pregunta no contestada.
Am I willing to see what's true because it's been denied? I am willing. Am I willing to see what's true?
Estoy dispuesto a ver lo que es verdad porque lo he negado.
It is an unequivocal yes to be shown by him everything.
Es inequívocamente para que él nos muestre todo.
That you will, and he's been talking about this a lot. I'm asking him, yes, talk about it again. So I'm going to.
Mira, yo he hablado mucho de esto, le estoy preguntando si puedo volver a hablar de esto y me dice que sí.
You will not hear him 100% clearly without saying unequivocal yes to the last unanswered question.
No vas a poder escuchar a Jesús inequívocamente hasta que no contestes la última pregunta no respondida, inequívocamente.
Because there'll be hidden areas of your mind, see, that you're not completely giving over to Christ's control.
Porque todavía hay algo que queremos mantener y no se lo queremos entregar al control de Jesús.
See, the last unanswered question is complete 100% devotion to self-honesty.
Porque contestar la última pregunta no contestada es is what?
Is
Sorry, say.
100% devotion to self-honesty.
Okay, es de un 100% de compromiso con la honestidad,
It's 100% devotion to honesty of God.
porque es 100% compromiso con la honestidad de Dios.
It's 100% devotion to supreme happiness.
Es 100% devoción a la suprema felicidad.
See, devotion to this voice, the voice for God, is your devotion to yourself, the honesty, the true honesty of what you are.
La devoción a esta voz es la devoción a ti mismo, es la devoción a lo que eres.
See, I just check in with them, you know. So you
Así
can
que chequen con él.
remember, we talked about honesty of God is getting in alignment with Him so your head bobs exactly with His.
Es, la honestidad es alinearnos con Jesús y si la cabeza va hacia abajo, va hacia abajo.
So the only honesty is love, the totality, the big L.
La honestidad es amor con L, con A mayúscula.
You can ask Him, is everything else a delusion? You see, here, feel your head go like,
Todo esto es una ilusión, es un engaño.
like, so the ego likes to go on this. What, that sounds boring.
Y el ego dice, eso suena aburrido.
Happiness is not boring.
La felicidad no es aburrida,
It's not of this world.
no es de este mundo,
It's beyond sensory experience.
es más allá de las sensaciones corporales.
But we're so, the play in consciousness would be so addicted to sensory experiences, the barometer of truth.
La conciencia está muy adicta a las sensaciones como una forma de medir la verdad.
See, it plays this, it plays like, you know, just constantly throwing out, it's just constantly throwing out sensory experience and then having a little story about that one. I'm having a little story about another sensory experience.
Entonces le gusta lanzar experiencias sensoriales y toda la historia alrededor de estas experiencias sensoriales.
See, my whole world, you start to see when you follow Jesus consistently, well, 100%, you start to see how much of the world was totally dependent on sensory, your interpretation of sensory experience being good or bad.
Y vemos como todo el mundo está mirando estas experiencias sensoriales y midiendo lo bueno y lo malo de ello.
And the ego hides well that that's death.
Y el ego esconde muy bien que eso es la muerte.
Death to the awareness of light.
La muerte a la conciencia de la luz.
Death to the awareness of true nature, of all the love of the Father.
Muerte a la conciencia de todo el amor del Padre.
So it takes consistent self-honesty, takes a deep continual practice of hearing that voice and asking Him, like you're doing in the light circles. You notice He's having it every night and every morning.
En estas se requiere mucha honestidad y en estos círculos de la noche y de la mañana.
And really self-honesty is starting to notice when there are twitches and then jumping a join to see where the dishonesty is in the subconscious mind.
Y la honestidad es que cada vez que tengamos una molestia nos unamos para ver dónde estamos siendo deshonestos en nuestra mente.
So honesty of God is seeing that there's light, emitting. That's the holy instant. That's why the holy instant is so important.
Y la honestidad de Dios es el instante santo. Por eso es que el instante santo es tan importante.
But it's just a reminder that it only takes a second to recognize who you are.
Y eso es un recuerdo simplemente de que toma un segundo recordar quién eres.
The timeline is to spend a lot of time denying you're it.
Porque la línea del tiempo es una negación de lo que eres.
So noticing that the light's here, that's a helpful admission to admit light is here.
Es muy útil la admisión de que la luz está aquí.
And it's very helpful to meditate on that light, meditate on the light of truth, meditate on the holy instant.
Eh, es muy útil meditar en la luz de la verdad, en el instante santo.
You know, many spiritual traditions point to recognizing light and contemplating light.
Muchas tradiciones hablan de contemplar la luz y estar en la luz.
It's helpful,
Es útil,
but having Jesus direct you directly to where you don't want that
pero tener a Jesús
and
que
coach
te
you
dirija y te entrene para ir a ver dónde no quieres ser la luz,
to hone in on the places in the mind where there's a denial of infinite light so it can be released to a miracle.
en estos partes de la mente donde no queremos ver y para liberarlo a un milagro.
That is the rocket ship.
Eso es un cohete.
So we really have to see that ego trick when it's saying, you know, Jesus is going to make me do something I don't want to do.
Por eso hay que ver que el ego, el truco del ego de que dice que Jesús me va a hacer algo que no quiero hacer.
And really ask for a miracle to change their mind in that belief, that desired experience of coercion.
Y mirar ese deseo por ser coercionado.
First of all, the clue is it's a future. It's saying in the future, if I do this, I'm going
Y
to
la
feel
clave es en el futuro, si hago esto, if I do this, what?
something bad's going to happen, or I'm going to feel coerced, or God's making me do something.
Ok, y entonces en el futuro, si hago algo, entonces em, Dios me va a sentir coercionada.
It's critically important to see how dishonest that is.
Es muy crítico ver lo importante que es, lo deshonesto que es esto.
To be shown underneath that the truth is, the honesty is that there's something you don't want to see.
Porque debajo de eso, en la honestidad, que hay algo que no quieres ver.
There's something Jesus is trying to show me that I don't want to see when I say that.
Hay algo que Jesús me quiere mostrar que yo no quiero ver cuando digo eso.
And all he can show, the only thing Jesus can show you is one, where you're denying yourself.
Lo único que te puede mostrar Jesús es dónde te estás negando a ti mismo
And coach you where you're refusing miracles.
y entrenarte dónde te estás rehusando a aceptar los milagros.
And then make the most efficient use of time and space for healing the mind to show you how to do that.
Y hacer el uso más adecuado del tiempo para mostrarte y sanar la mente.
And so, true honesty of God is asking Jesus, am I giving over time and space to you fully to optimize the healing of my mind? That's honesty.
Entonces, honestidad es decirle, Jesús, te he entregado todo el tiempo y para que tú organices todo lo mejor para la sanación de mi mente.
See, we don't see how when we turn down guidance, we're choosing weakness.
No, no es que no quiere decir. Can you say again?
We don't, the play is in consciousness not to see that when we don't follow guidance, we're choosing to experience weakness.
Lo que no queremos ver es que en el juego, cuando no escogemos la guía, estamos escogiendo la debilidad.
That we're choosing weakness over the power granted by God.
que escogemos la debilidad por encima del poder de Dios que nos ha garantizado por Dios.
See, the only honesty is saying no to the ego. That's the only
La
honesty.
única honestidad es decirle no al ego.
He's talking, true use of denial, saying no.
Ese es el verdadero uso de la negación, decir no.
So these light circles are such radical, radical self-honesty sessions.
Los círculos de luz son radicales, honestidad radical.
To get to the root by direct experience of what's being denied, the desires are where the miracles are.
Ir a la raíz de donde estamos negando los milagros.
And then he's calling everyone to these guidance sessions twice a week so that you can see where the dishonesty is in the mind around guidance.
Y por eso tenemos estas dos sesiones donde podemos venir a ver dónde hemos sido deshonestos con la guía.
But it's interesting because I can see how they work together, both the looking with him and the guidance, following guidance. The two parts are essential together.
Las dos partes son esenciales, las dos. Seguir la guía y mirar con él donde no la estamos siguiendo.
Because without both, you will not trust him enough to take you through the battlefield to the other, to see past all of that.
Porque si no, así no vas a tener la confianza para salir fuera del campo de batalla.
He's saying you really believe you created something horrible.
Porque él dice, tú crees que has creado algo horrible.
So that all you have to see is that you made the choice to have a horrible experience.
Lo único que tienes que darte cuenta es que tú has decidido tener experiencias horribles.
See, honesty of God, like in these sessions where in the honesty of God and light of mind being Jesus, do I have that desire down in my subconscious mind?
Por eso en los círculos decimos Jesús en la honestidad de Dios y en la luz del ser divino, tengo este deseo por debajo de mi nivel de conciencia.
He's helping us with self-honesty. Yes, if
Él nos está ayudando con la honestidad.
Okay, and am I ready for a miracle? Point number 2 for self-honesty.
Y estoy listo para un milagro. Eso es el punto número 2 de la honestidad.
You see, it doesn't do any good to study A Course in Miracles unless you're willing to look at all the places where you don't want one.
Tú no estarías estudiando el curso si no estuvieras dispuesto a que te muestren.
See, that's the Course will remain, without working directly with Jesus, the Holy Spirit, the Course will remain conceptual in the mind. It can actually, yeah.
Entonces, si no miras con Jesús, con el Espíritu Santo, el curso se va a quedar con un tema conceptual.
Because I'm asking him, is the Course being used and you can ask him, the Course being used as a defense against God, yes or no? By a lot
Y
of
pueden preguntarle a Jesús, porque todos podemos preguntar si los estudiantes están usando el curso como una defensa contra Dios. Algunos estudiantes están haciendo eso.
Without the direct experience of looking at the denials and see where the refusal to accept the miracle, you can read the book as much as possible, but it won't get you to the true release of the miracle.
Porque si no miras directamente con él las negaciones y la negación a los milagros, te vas a seguir rehusando a los milagros y se va a quedar como en teoría.
So somehow the path of willingness is seeing where you're unwilling to be honest.
El camino de la voluntad es de darte cuenta que no tienes voluntad de ser honesto.
So the willingness is willingness to be self-honest, honest about identity.
Porque en verdad la voluntad es ver dónde ¿Dónde estamos siendo deshonestos?
Honest that you do have the power to change your mind as given by God.
Eh, la honestidad es darte cuenta que tienes el poder de negar, em, power to what?
Change your mind.
Para cambiar tu mente.
That you do have all the power to see things differently if you choose to.
Que tienes todo el poder de ver, para ver esto diferente si tú así lo escoges.
And there's nothing outside you, no one else that can stop you from a miracle except refusing to change your mind.
Y que no hay nada, nada, absolutamente nada que pueda rehusarte del milagro si tú estás dispuesto a cambiar tu mente.
So not following guidance is the same as dishonesty, the same as refusing to change your mind.
No seguir la guía es lo mismo, es rehusarse, es lo mismo que rehusarse a no cambiar la mente.
And that's all willingness is willingness to be shown where we're unwilling to change our mind and then be willing to say, no, I have the power to change my mind about this.
La honestidad es ver que tengo el poder, que no quiero cambiar mi mente, pero que tengo el poder de cambiar mi mente.
See, he's got to take us on little honesty steps.
Así que nos toca como dar pasos en la honestidad.
Because we believe if we were totally honest, we would be centered or blown up or annihilated by God. He says yes.
Porque creemos que si somos totalmente honestos vamos a ser eliminados por Dios,
Ask him so you can.
aniquilados.
Yeah, ask him if you can hear it too, so you can hear it too. Okay? Is that why I
Eh,
have to go little steps?
Todos podemos preguntar. Entonces, bueno, vamos con los pasos.
See, that's why contemplating infinite light, he gives that, you know. My favorite lessons, 44 and 189.
Entonces, mis lecciones preferidas son la 44 and 180
89.
En la 189.
Okay, because it's contemplating true identity, and then you see, oh my gosh, light's just here. It's not going to do anything to me. It doesn't cinder me. It doesn't kill me. It's just here.
Porque me muestra que la luz está aquí y que no me va a matar, y que simplemente está aquí.
You have to put that story away once you start contemplating light.
Y puedes poner esas historias al lado cuando estás en la contemplación de la luz.
You know, plenty of stuff's going to come up in awareness, but if you just keep going back to light and going, wow, it's not trying to get me, it's not trying to blow me up, it's not trying to throw me down, it's not trying to kill me, it's just here.
Y ver que no va a tratar de echarme, no va a tratar de aniquilarme y que simplemente está aquí.
Then you'll come, the question I got to, and you've heard me say it before.
¿Pardon?
The question I finally came to in that contemplation of light.
Ay, la pregunta de la contemplación de la luz. Ay.
And then the realization came that the only way, if I'm not experiencing that peace 100%, there has to be a desire not to.
Y darme cuenta que si no estoy experimentando esa paz es porque tengo el deseo de no hacerlo.
And then after releasing and forgiving and forgiving and forgiving and forgiving and forgiving and forgiving.
Y después de liberar y liberar y liberar y perdonar y perdonar y perdonar y perdonar.
And I'm still going, Jesus, where's the supreme happiness?
Y aún así le digo, Jesús, ¿dónde está la suprema felicidad?
As I said, I was still grasshopper. I was still lots to see. Keep looking, grasshopper.
Y él me dice, sigue mirando, aún hay más por mirar.
Like I am determined to see.
Como yo estoy decidido a ver.
Jesus, this is going to take a lot of determined to see to go all the way.
Se requiere mucho estar determinado a seguir y él dice, sí.
Like I said before too, I said, Jesus, am I just a difficult poster child? Am I just difficult?
Como yo fui una chica difícil,
He'll go, okay, hang out with me. Just stay with me. Glue yourself to him. Glue, glue, glue.
y es como, mantente conmigo.
Like we laugh about here, there's going to be 100 times you're going to say something. Like,
Eh, y aquí nos reímos porque vamos a decir cientos de veces,
I'm going to blow this popsicle stand. I'm out of here.
voy a volar esto, voy a salir de aquí.
Okay, but I don't know where that is in the United States. That's just like, I'm out of here. I'm, I've done all this looking, Jesus. What do you mean there's more?
¿Cómo así, Jesús? Yo he hecho todas estas miradas y aún hay más.
Yes, there's more.
Sí,
But
sí, hay más.
But then it's simple. See, it's simple. Honesty is simple.
Y luego, entonces, pero la honestidad es simple.
Okay? Delusion is complicated.
La ilusión es complicada.
Okay? Honesty is simple.
La honestidad es simple.
Honesty, I do not want a miracle right now, otherwise I'd be happy.
La honestidad, yo no quiero un milagro ya, porque si no sería feliz,
At peace, I'd be at peace.
estaría en paz.
But it takes a lot of clearing the mind to finally see that supreme happiness and peace are the same, Bismo.
Y toma tiempo de darnos cuenta que la suprema felicidad y la paz son lo mismo.
So that's determined to see, and you keep looking and keep clearing with Jesus.
Y por eso hay que mantenernos mirando con Jesús.
And this hang on to your mighty companions as he gives them to you.
Y mantenernos de la mano de nuestros compañeros que han sido dados para
So
eso.
it's really good to ask them anywhere you're being really dishonest about who your mighty companions are, he's given to you.
Que hemos sido deshonestos en pensar quiénes son deben ser nuestros compañeros poderosos.
See, a ego trick is to avoid the mighty companions that are going to be most
Porque
helpful.
el truco del ego es tratar de evadir a los compañeros poderosos.
It's going to avoid proximity with those people.
Va a tratar de evadirla, estar cerca de esta gente.
Ask Jesus. Is that right?
Pregúntenle a Jesús. That's right.
Yes. It seems to be about a location or, but it's just always about avoiding seeing the truth. That's all it can be.
Y pareciera que es acerca del lugar, pero realmente es what? Sorry,
It's
¿qué?
always about avoiding seeing the truth. There isn't anything
Sí.
happening.
Siempre es evadir ver la verdad, nada más.
That's not happening either, but
Pero eso tampoco está pasando. Ni siquiera está pasando.
But for a time, because you're going to see in the light, when you look in the light, you're going to see the light does not need miracles.
Pero por un tiempo, y tenemos que, porque si se dan cuenta, en la luz no necesita milagros.
The light does not know what a miracle is.
La luz no sabe ni qué es un milagro.
But in the play of consciousness, in the continual denial of light and supreme happiness, miracles are the best deal going.
Pero en el juego de la conciencia, los milagros son esenciales.
Because the power of A Course in Miracles is, of all the spiritual traditions, I don't know of another one that's going to show you how really powerful your mind is.
Porque lo poderoso del curso de milagros, y no sé si de otras tradiciones, pero muestra lo poderosa que es la mente.
To truly grok miscreation and the power, and then the power that you have to say no to miscreation, and it's,
y el poder que tienes para decirle no a la creación falsa.
there's all kinds, there can be a lot of awakening experience, and consciousness is a generator of awakening experiences.
Porque la conciencia es un generador de experiencias de despertar.
It's recognition of one is, that's why Jesus is simple. He says the holy instant.
Por eso el reconocimiento de la unidad, eso es lo que Jesús dice que es el instante santo.
It's supreme happiness. A consistent state of supreme happiness.
Pero un consistente estado de suprema felicidad.
And then the contrast between that and seeing the choice not to be that, and see that if you can choose not to be it,
Y el contraste de eso y darte cuenta que estás escogiendo no ser eso.
you can decide not to have those experiences anymore.
Y tú puedes decidir no tener más esas experiencias, nunca más.
And Jesus talks about it. You can demand not to. It is within your command completely.
Y tú puedes demandar esto, está bajo tu comando eso completamente.
He's talking about how supreme happiness is dominion.
Estoy viendo cómo la suprema felicidad es dominio.
It's dominion over all.
Es dominio sobre todo.
But not in the ways of the world.
Pero no en la forma del mundo.
It's to be in the world but not of it.
Es estar en el mundo pero no ser de él.
It's to be in Holy Communion. The only truth is song of prayer.
Es estar en comunión santa. Ese es el canto a la oración.
That's the only honesty is song of prayer, the continuous celebration, the song.
La canción, eso es la canción de la
It's
de la oración.
It's the cessation of all prayer for an experience not to be what you are.
Say again.
It's ceasing the prayer, the subconscious prayer for an experience of not being what you are.
Es de negar la canción de la mente subconsciente de ser lo que no es.
So desires are prayers for hell experience.
Los deseos son oraciones, plegarias por el infierno.
Like Buddha said, desirelessness is nirvana. See, desireless.
Buda decía que no tener deseos es el nirvana.
See that the light has no desires. It doesn't know what a desire is.
Ver que la luz no tiene deseos, que ni siquiera sabe qué es un deseo.
Being is just being. It's not wanting.
El ser es simplemente ser, no querer.
And so now there's this really strong group of devoted mighties who are starting to look deeply and have that direct experience.
Y con este grupo poderoso de compañeros comienzan a mirar profundamente estas experiencias.
And accepting the honesty of God, that the voice for God speaks to me throughout the day.
Y acepten que la voz de Dios me habla durante todo el día.
And to see that we have the power, the only honesty is to talk to that voice all day long.
Y que la verdadera honestidad es hablar esa voz durante todo el día.
And to follow that voice all day long.
Y que podemos seguir esa guía durante todo el día.
Acceptance of the kingdom.
La aceptación del reino.
And ceasing to deny it.
Y dejar de negarlo.
And then if there's a twitch, get that
si hay una molestia, vamos por el milagro.
I am getting my miracle. I'm getting it.
Voy a lograr mi milagro.
And that's honesty.
Eso es honestidad.
So thank you, Jesus. Wow.
Gracias, Jesús. Wow.
So we're going to have a beautiful song coming from Lorrie here. We're so blessed.
Entonces vamos a tener una canción de Lorrie. Somos muy bendecidos.
before she comes, I'm gonna open it just to see if there are any questions about honesty of God, Jesus says. Okay?
Entonces, antes de que ella venga, voy a abrir la sesión a ver si hay alguna pregunta acerca de la honestidad de Dios.
Because we want to be 100% clear on what honesty is.
Porque quiero que quede muy claro qué es la honestidad de Dios.
So we'll open it up to any questions.
Así que está abierto para cualquier pregunta.
Yo tengo una pregunta.
I have a question.
Oh, hola, Pablo.
Hola. Good evening.
Tú lo puedes hacer en inglés.
I don't speak very well. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Mi pregunta es, tiene que ver con si esta honestidad, a ver, ¿cómo lo puedo plantear? Lo que pasa es que yo vengo del mundo religioso hace un tiempo.
What happened is that I come from the religion, from a religion.
Sí, vengo de la religión hace un tiempo y a veces siento que los conceptos religiosos obstruyen esta honestidad. Es una visión que me
And
llega
so,
en este
yeah,
momento.
okay. And I think these concepts, these religion concepts, fight with the honesty of God. It's like it's like a fight. I don't know how to say that.
Yes.
Sí, porque los conceptos religiosos de, por ejemplo, Jesús, el Espíritu Santo, están todavía muy en la mente y me ha costado un poco sacarme los preconceptos para aprenderlos desde la luz, desde la verdad.
And because all these concepts like Jesus, Holy Spirit, these concepts is like too attached to me, and I can see it now in the life. I cannot see it now in the life, these concepts.
Entonces, quizás la pregunta sería que, ¿cómo nos recomienda ella purificar estos conceptos? Más que quedarnos con el concepto, ¿cómo podemos purificar esta mente que todavía se resiste a través justamente de los conceptos?
Also, the question is how to like to clean, to purify these concepts. Yes, it's like how can I do the change of mind around these concepts?
So I'm asking Jesus, so we start with Jesus, what is the desired experience that this is giving me? See, there's some kind of desire for an experience to have like a religion over here and spirituality over there. And what is it really that's causing this upset?
Lo que estoy viendo es que le estoy preguntando a Jesús qué está causando esta molestia de tener por un lado los conceptos religiosos y por el otro lado como este tema de la luz y demás.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is just so check in on this, but I'm hearing the desire to feel torn and out of control.
What is torn?
Torn. Torn apart.
I don't know exactly. Can you find the word? Because I can't get it. Me estaba hablando un concepto de torn que no lo entiendo y entonces ya me están buscando el significado porque la verdad no lo cojo.
Desire to feel torn apart and out of control.
Deseo de sentirse destrozado y fuera de control.
Does that sound right?
Ok. El deseo de sentirse destrozado y fuera de control. Está mirando qué deseo hay de estar como con esta disyuntiva. ¿Te suena? Le preguntaba que si te hace sentido.
Sí, me hace sentido, pero más que nada lo veo en mi exterior, pero yo sé que mi exterior soy yo. la desconfianza quizá en los conceptos.
I see these things like around me, but I know this is just concepts. Yes, it's just concepts.
So we're just going to stand back for a little minute and
No,
we'll just ask Jesus, Jesus, is somewhere in my subconscious mind, do I have a desire for the experience of feeling torn apart?
Entonces, vamos a hacernos como a un lado y le vamos a preguntar a Jesús, ¿tengo el deseo de una experiencia de ser destrozado y perder control?
Sí or no?
Pregunta si sí o no.
Es como un deseo de tener la razón, a lo mejor, como tener ese control.
What I think is the desire to be right, that I am right, to have this control, then I have the reason.
Jesus, is this the desire or can we go deeper? Is there something underneath this?
¿Este es el deseo, Jesús, o hay algo más profundo que tenemos que ver?
Es como un deseo de querer tener la razón por sobre los demás.
It is a desire to be right over over others. Like I am right, they are wrong.
Okay, Jesus, is this the deepest of the deep desires that you want me to focus on now?
Jesús, este es el deseo, el deseo más profundo que debo enfocarme ahora.
Or is there more to see?
¿O hay algo más que ver?
Quizás el intento de seguir negando a Dios.
Maybe and then I am trying to deny God.
So it's just helpful to see and continue to ask Jesus, what is the deepest of the root? So we're trying to get down, desires are like a tree. And a lot of times we try to spend time in the leaves and going, okay, here's what the problem is. And it's so helpful just to be guided right down to what that desire is.
Algunas veces con esto nos queremos quedar como en un árbol, que nos queremos quedar en las hojitas y no queremos ir directamente como a la parte gruesa del tema.
What is the experience that I'm relishing having, Jesus, more than God?
¿Cuál es la experiencia que estoy disfrutando más que a Dios?
Now, it's not like at different times he may show different things. He might show these different things. But when we're being coached by him, we want to go right to the root.
No quiere decir que no salgan estas cosas, pero cuando estamos guiados directamente por Jesús, tenemos que ir directo a la raíz.
We want the desire that we want more than God for him to show it.
Queremos el deseo de... Say it again, okay.
We want him to show the desire that we want more than God.
Queremos que nos muestre el deseo en el que que lo queremos más que a Dios, ese deseo grueso que queremos más que a Dios.
What the ego loves to do is have two different seeming groups of thought and then have a big fight over them.
Y el ego le gusta tener como dos grupos de pensamientos y pelear entre ellos.
It seems to show up as different spiritual groups. It shows up as different political groups. It just...
Y nos muestra estos grupos espirituales y estos grupos políticos.
So it loves feeling split or torn. It just, Jesus, do I just relish feeling like I'm being ripped down the middle?
Y Jesús, disfruto eso como si me estuvieran arrancando entre la mitad, como si estuviera en la mitad y me estuvieran destrozando.
So we can see it maybe logically that it's a play and that they're concepts, but we have to ask Jesus, part of the honesty of God is going, has the healing occurred on this group of concepts? Have I accepted a full healing?
Entonces, en honestidad, tenemos que preguntarle a Jesús si aceptó la sanación completa. Ay, me perdí. Este sentimiento de ser rasgado. What about the desire? Sorry, Kay, I lost.
Well, the ego loves to play being ripped apart game. And so we have to confirm with Jesus that the healing, the full miracle all the way down has been accepted.
Y entonces, porque el ego le gusta ese juego de ser destrozado. Entonces tenemos que ir con Jesús y mirar si ya hemos aceptado la sanación de eso.
So there's a high level of specificity, particularly at first, with seeing exactly what desire is at play in the subconscious mind.
Y se requiere mucha especificidad. Por eso hay que mirar concretamente cuál es el deseo que se tiene que liberar.
I mean, that's the fastest way, when he delivers it. And a lot of times you're looking at it going, I think it's this, we think we know what it is, but it's always best when he delivers it out. Here's what is at play.
A veces queremos irnos por estos deseos y mirando muchos de ellos, pero tenemos que dejar que Jesús nos lo entregue, nos diga claramente cuál es el que se tiene que mirar.
So you just do kind of bobblehead with Jesus, okay, Jesus, meaning, you're just trying to hear, okay, Jesus, which one do you want me to look at? Do you want me to look at feeling torn?
Entonces, tienes que mirar el tema de la cabeza que te muestra, sí, o la forma que sea en el caso tuyo, que te muestra cuál debo mirar. Entonces, debo mirar el de ser destrozado.
Yes or no?
Sí o no.
Being ripped. Or do you want me to, or is it more helpful to look at the desire to be right now?
O es más útil que mire el deseo de estar, de tener la razón o de estar en lo correcto ahora mismo.
Or maybe something totally different. We're just open.
O algo totalmente diferente. Simplemente nos abrimos.
So this is for everyone to look, and we'll all hear it. See, together, not one's going to hear it.
Porque esto es para todos, porque para que lo escuchemos todos.
What are you hearing, Pablo? Anything?
¿Escuchas algo, Pablo?
So we just let him decide. Oh, here he comes. Were you going to say
No,
something? Beautiful.
no logro escuchar más allá todavía. Estoy ahí.
Okay, I cannot hear anything more. I cannot hear.
Okay. Well, you can just rest on it. Sometimes you'll be somewhere the next day and all of a sudden you go, oh my gosh, that's it, you know?
Entonces puedes descansar en esto y quizá el siguiente día te diga, como que te llegue lo que te debe llegar.
Because when I ask Jesus, okay, is there a willingness to see this differently? I hear yes. Do you hear yes?
Porque cuando yo pregunto si estás dispuesto a ver esto de manera diferente, escucho que sí. ¿Qué escuchas?
Sí, totalmente.
Yes, absolutely.
That's just the beauty of it. And then he'll just help purify it.
Sí, esto es la belleza, esta es la belleza de esto. Y bueno, dejemos que se purifique.
Meaning he'll help us see that we do have all the power to change our mind.
Y ver que tenemos todo el poder para cambiar nuestra mente.
So thank you, Pablo. That's for everyone.
Gracias, Pablo. Esto es para todos.
Because that's a common play, you know. You know, I grew up Catholic. I grew up with a lot of concepts about Jesus, wanted to run the other direction. What is it really? Yep.
Porque yo también así con todos estos conceptos católicos y de sentirme como destrozada con este tema. Como,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I went through Catholic school all the way through high school.
Entonces fui a todo mi primaria y bachillerato a escuelas católicas.
It was so beautiful where he invited, oh my gosh, I've shared this story, so I won't go into it now, but you know, where he just completely turned that around in my mind so that I actually went to church and I could just, every word, just, I could hear the alignment and really understand the deeper meaning.
Y ahora ir a la iglesia y escuchar estos conceptos totalmente alineados con la luz es muy hermoso.
So it's such a testament that he does everything he says is just help everything to be holy.
Porque es darnos cuenta que todo lo que él dice es para que todos reconozcamos que somos santos.
And of course, the most holy of holies is, you know, just listening, following, and speaking. And then all things are seen in wholeness.
Pero lo más santo es escuchar, seguir y para ver la plenitud.
And then we stop beating ourselves up with words and emotions.
Y luego ya dejar las palabras y las emociones.
Algo más? Anything else? Anyone? Or Pablo? Or does anyone else have a question?
Muchas gracias a ti, a todos y a María por la traducción tan buena.
Yes.
Tan bonito. Thank you so much to everyone.
Yes, thank you, Maria, for translating. She's really stepped into high function, really.
Gracias a María por la traducción que se está manteniendo en una función muy alta.
Really, and a lot of determination to see.
Y con mucha determinación para ver.
Okay, does this mean we're ready for some rockin' music from Lorrie? She's ready
Well,
to rock.
I just have a quick
Entonces,
question,
listo.
okay?
Okay, quick question.
I just must have missed it. What was the last unanswered question?
Am I willing to see what's true because it's been denied?
Oh, okay.
La pregunta rápida
Thank
era
you.
¿cuál es la última pregunta no contestada? Y Kate dice, estoy dispuesto a ver la verdad porque la he negado. Es la última pregunta no contestada.
Love you, Lynn.
Te amo, Lynn.
Thank you. Okay, Lorrie, are you going for the gusto here? Yes, she is.
We received lyrics, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, you're getting lyrics, right? They're getting lyrics.
Yes, I got
Ay,
those.
recibieron la letra de parece que la pasaron por WhatsApp.
Yep.
Entonces, todos listos a cantar.
Although you might need to mute Maria ultimately so that Lorrie comes up as the speaker.
Okay, no worries.
Oh, I'll do immersive. There you go. Nope, that doesn't work.
La letra ya está en WhatsApp.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Lorrie.
This is called Sunshine Beloved. Lighten up. Maria?
Yeah,
He had a mute for me.
Okay.
I have to mute. We have the lyrics.
Okay. Here we go. We're on the way back. High hole silver, hearts open wide. Riding high on a stagecoach. Willingness is lighting the mind. Let it be, let it breathe, let it rise, let it sing. Let the Christ pass into all borders. The deepest dive is love alive on a rocket ship. Jesus, you drive. Holy, is anything more powerful than light? Holy, ale, ale, precious, pure, infinite lights. Sunshine, beloved, hurry to me, huddle in, cuddle up, sweet turtle doves. Look together at the shadows, the hiding paper tigers. Seas too deep, dive in your rhythm, your timeless. Jesus, are you driving? Holy, is anything more powerful than light? Holy, ale, ale, precious, pure, infinite lights. All right, now this is the part where all the singers, which we all are, bring your voices, no matter how you're feeling. We're gonna sing together. Listen one time. Holy, holy light. Your turn. Here we go. Holy, holy light. Again, please.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So
Thank you,
beautiful.
beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you, God.
So beautiful. Thank you, Lorrie. We love you. There she is. We got Pear.
Willingness.
Everybody say bye. So we get you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you all.
Bye.
Love you.
Gracias.
Bye. Thank you. Love you, Kay.
Gracias. Gracias, Maria. Oh, we see you, Maria. Her little head comes up on this. Adios. Adios.
Adiós.
Buenas
Adiós.
noches.